Hi, it's me, Olivia. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel for interesting stories and visit my Patreon page for early access. Link in the description. Thanks. The woman was tall and blonde. She had that almost sprayed-on look of a professional beautician. Her white uniform jacket had the Summer Cosmetics logo above one breast pocket. Underneath, she wore a knee-length white dress. She looked a little like a glamorous lady doctor. Mrs. Summers has told me all about you. I think it's great that you agreed to do this. I wasn't sure you would even show up. I know all the girls are really excited. She had him sit in one of the pink leather chairs. Okay then, let's take a close look, shall we? Good skin, good hair. A bit short, but not for what I have in mind. It's nice and thick. Good bone structure too. I think that we can really do something great here. Yvonne wanted to know all about how he cared for his hair, if he had ever used any beauty products before, and whether he had any allergies. Bobby was at a loss. After all, he was a boy, and as far as he was concerned, the bathroom was just for a quick wash and go. No wonder his mom spent so much time in there. Yvonne waked to the other end of the salon. Bobby could hear her heels clicking across the tiled floor. She returned with a whole armful of hanks of hair in different colors. One by one, she compared them to his hair. Well, we don't have an exact match. How would you feel about a little coloring? Bobby shrugged. Don't worry, I'm not going to turn you into a clown. If you want to change your mind, now is the time to say. Bobby thought about the others. No way was he going to let Cindy win. Backing out would be like admitting defeat. He swallowed. He couldn't back out of it now. He looked through the colored strands. This one's just like my mom's color. Great choice, said Yvonne. After all, you know what they say. Blondes always have more fun. Right, take off your jacket and we can get started. Bobby looked at himself in the mirror. There wasn't much of him exposed. Between the pink cape and the plastic cap, he had been reduced to just a face. Even that was covered in a white cream. Only his eyes looked familiar. Okay, Bobby, said Yvonne. It's time to see how we are doing. With his head over the sink, he stared at the ceiling as warm water ran through his hair, Yvonne carefully making sure all of the solution was removed. She sponged the cream from his face. Right, it's the dryer for you now, my boy. She untied the cape and he sat under the dryer in his white t-shirt. After what seemed like an age, Yvonne was satisfied and released him from its clutches. Wow! Bobby, that looks great. She held one of the hanks of false hair to his head. Perfect match. He tried to see himself in the mirror, but Yvonne stood in the way. No, wait till I'm finished, then you can look. Bobby was surprised at just how much he was starting to enjoy himself. She fussed around him, brushing in steady strokes. He watched her expression. Obviously, she was pleased with the result. For the next 3 hours, he was made to turn his head this way, and that as the pile of blonde extensions got smaller and smaller. He read the magazines she had given him, enduring the sharp pulls in silence. Yvonne cut, clipped, and sprayed. She had even plucked at his eyebrows with little tweezers. It had hurt like hell. Us girls have to suffer for beauty, you know. Okay, she said, giving his hair a final brush. You can look now. She stepped aside. Oh man, no way. In the mirror was a slim figure with long honey blonde hair. Could this really be him? Hair flowed in waves over his shoulders, framing his face. Shining in the salon's lights, it lay like liquid gold over the white of his t-shirt. He turned around slowly, watching his reflection. No going back now, he thought. If you are still willing to go the distance, then there's 2 more things you need, said Yvonne. Beauty's not just hair and makeup, it's the whole image. You have to feel totally at ease with yourself, or all the powder in the world's just not going to help. She opened a drawer in the workstation. It was full of women's breasts. Bobby's jaw dropped. These, explained Yvonne, are one of the company's other lines. Do you know what a mastectomy is? Bobby nodded, open-mouthed. These are top of the line. They have a special gel inside so that they move just like the real thing. He hadn't expected this. She saw his expression. They only glue on. She laughed. It's not permanent. The relief showed on Bobby's face. Yvonne caught up his hair under a net cap and had him remove his t-shirt. Now these are really for older women, so we shall have to use the smallest size. She cleaned his chest with a blue solution, then using clear glue fixed the first false breast in place. It felt really odd and Bobby's mind reeled. Every boy had at some time fantasized about breasts, but normally they didn't get a pair of their own. It only took a moment to stick and Yvonne soon had both of them in place. They were heavier than he had expected. Was this how real breasts felt? He had spent a lot of time running around bare-chested, but now he felt very exposed. Every time he moved, they bounced gently. He had breasts. He was no longer just a boy with girl's hair. It was as if he really was becoming a girl. Strangely, this didn't bother him as much as he thought it should. Pulling his t-shirt back on proved more difficult too. Yvonne produced a tape. They make you about a 34B. That's just about right for a girl your age. She looked at him again. The transformation really was amazing. She had expected a lot more resistance from him. Bobby was still staring at himself in the mirror. I really do look like a girl, he said, grinning. Cool. Yes, and a very cute one too. You're going to need a brassiere to support those, you know. She was right. Every movement caused them to move under his shirt. Okay, what's next? Yvonne beamed and wheeled over a trolley stacked with makeup. This is all from our new Teen Angel range. We might as well start out as we mean to go on. She pulled his hair back from his face and slipped a wide pink band over it. Yvonne had him sit with fingers splayed as his nails dried. She had added acrylic extensions, and now they were long and a rosy pink. Bobby watched fascinated as his face changed. Yvonne had spent a few minuets choosing colors to suit his coloring. She explained everything as she went along. Bobby found himself wanting to know all about it. He even asked to try putting a little on himself. Well, if you're really that interested, maybe we can find time to show you a few tricks later on. His boyish features were slowly redefined under the barrage of paint and powder. Nearly done. He followed her lead, moving his mouth around like a stunned fish as the lipstick was applied. Apparently it was called Morning Sky and was a light translucent pink. Nearly done. Yvonne removed the hairband and flicked his hair back into place with an experienced hand. Just a little spray to hold the style and all finished. She stood back to admire her work. Oh, Bobby, you look wonderful. That's definitely one for the scrapbook. If Bobby had been surprised before, now he was in total shock. Large dark eyes with long lashes sparkled from a flawless face. A smoky blue on the lids made them seem much larger, and just a touch of light blush gave him killer cheekbones. Though it was the mouth that clinched it. Full lips glowed with a soft pink sheen. The girls would be amazed, and his mom was going to just die. Yvonne returned with a camera. Walk up and down for me. The camera clicked as he paraded around the bright salon. I can't wait to see you on the shoot with all the others, she said. I don't suppose you have any girls' clothes with you? It seems such a shame to see you in those jeans and sneakers. It had not even crossed his mind how strange his normal clothing would look with a girl's head on his shoulders. Then again, he would never have guessed that he would end up looking like he did now. Yvonne went into the back again. Here, try these. They should be close to your size. This is the uniform our beauty students wear when they come for training. She handed him a short pink dress and jacket. There was a packet of opaque white pantyhose and a matching hairband. There are boxes of shoes in the back storeroom. See if any will fit. Bobby had almost run into the back. There were bench seats in a kind of lunchroom. Beyond were the stores. He opened a couple of shoe boxes and sat down. The shoes were like aerobic slippers in white leather. After a couple of tries, he found a pair that fitted really well over the thin pantyhose. Bobby pulled the dress over his head. It mussed up his hair, and he realized that he should have put on the band first. A rack of brushes stood near a mirror, so he tried to repair the damage as best he could. Pushed into the mirror frame were lots of photos showing various young women in outfits identical to the one he now wore. They were laughing, eating pizza, and looking like they were having a great time. He scrutinized himself in the mirror and realized that he could easily be mistaken for one of them. The women in the pictures all had their hair in tidy ponytails. Using the hairband, he did the same. Bobby walked back into the salon. The dress clung round his thighs, and he found that he had to take much smaller steps than normal. The flash of a camera greeted him. You look just perfect. said Yvonne. Maybe we should have you join the classes when the students come back after their summer break. Bobby giggled and looked at his feet. Oh boy. He thought, now I'm even starting to act like a girl. Right, your mom will be finishing work soon. She said that she would call in to see how you were doing. Though I doubt she would recognize her son now. Bobby looked in one of the salon mirrors. He didn't even recognize himself. In the meantime, you can help me tidy the salon. It will give you the chance to see how hard us girls have to work in here. Whilst Yvonne sorted out the makeup trolley, he swept under the chairs. There seemed to be masses of golden hair to clean up. He was rinsing the sink when the door opened. Hi, Yvonne. His mom walked in. I'm looking for my Bobby. Did he show up here? There was a student working at one of the sinks. She hadn't expected anyone else to be here. Yvonne led her past the blonde girl and into the back room. The girl had smiled at her as they passed. Yes, Bobby came all right, but he's not here anymore. Yvonne laughed. She held up Bobby's sneakers, and his mom suddenly realized who the young girl cleaning the salon was. Bobby? She was stunned. Was this attractive young girl really her son? She had expected him to run a mile when he had actually met Yvonne, but no. Not only had he gone through with it, he was beautiful. Any mother would be proud to have a daughter like this. Hi, Mom. My God, Bobby. I can't believe it! You look fantastic. I shall have to come in for a makeover myself if that's how good Yvonne can make you look. She touched his hair. Jesus. That's not a wig. Bobby's mom was flustered. It took Yvonne some time to explain what she had done. They all sat in the lunchroom. It felt weird to sit drinking coffee with his mom whilst dressed as a girl. Worse still, his mom had kept looking over at him with a strange expression on her face. Bobby started to wonder if he had let things get out of hand. So you decided to really see if you could play the part? I'm not sure what to do. You can't just go around normally with your hair like that. She thought for a while. Okay. The photo shoot is still 2 weeks away. I think you will just have to stay as a girl until it's all over. Bobby blanched. 2 weeks. Watching himself change in the salon mirror had been fun, but he had only expected to play a girl for the photos. 2 weeks. He couldn't bear to stay inside for 2 weeks, but that would mean going out in public as a girl. He fingered the hem of his dress. But Mom, I can't, His mom interrupted. Of course we shall have to get you some new clothes to go out in. Oh God, she was getting into the idea. Bobby knew that look. Once his mom made up her mind, that was it. He looked to Yvonne. No help there. Sitting there with his long hair, all made up and wearing a pink salon assistant's outfit, he really was in no position to argue. He was sunk. For the next 2 weeks, he was going to be a girl. Don't worry, Bobby, it's going to be fun. I've always wanted a daughter to take out shopping. Yvonne stood in the doorway of the salon as mother and daughter got into the station wagon. She had insisted that Bobby keep the uniform. Now he could come by the salon and help out until the photo shoot was over. She said. He had been loaded down with brushes, skin care products, and more makeup than he thought was necessary. His boys' clothes were stuffed into a plastic bag. 2 weeks, there's enough stuff here for 2 years, he thought. The end. Please subscribe for the next part and visit my Patreon page for early access. Thanks.